Take 3. MK1, a casual's perspective. I think my first memory of Mortal Kombat was at my brother's house when we were kids, maybe about 8. We had been playing on a PlayStation or maybe even an Xbox, and we were doing the classic uppercut brutality on random characters. I remember Katana. My next fond memory of Mortal Kombat was MKX. And I think even before that, there was like a dubstep song that was actually called Reptile, which like kind of kept me in the loop a little bit with Mortal Kombat through the years. I digress. A gentleman I knew by the name of M40A3 Neglect, or X-Gen Lynx, that I played with quite a lot in the Call of Duty days. He had me purchase the XL edition of MKX. I was so amped to play Reptile again. I think even now, even though I don't play or main Reptile, he's probably my favorite character in the franchise. He's super cool. But I was advised by him to play the story mode and like learn familiarize myself with the roster. I immediately took notice of Devora. Looking at the menu screen, I remember it being wintertime, finishing the campaign, and how good life was looking back. I had no problems in the world then. Just wintertime MKX. It was glorious. And then life just went on. Fast forward to like maybe early 2020, I was employed by Royal Caribbean. And all my coworkers, just the guys in my department, they had Nintendo Switches, new Nintendo Switches with MK11. So yeah, my first MK11 experience was on the Switch. I looked at the roster, I saw Devora, and just started manning her. And I remember some of the dudes I worked with were like, how are you so good at this? They just didn't know I put a little bit of time in MKX. It definitely, it hardly transferred over, though, with the crushing blow system. But during that time, we ended up being under quarantine. And soon after that, I was sent home. And once again, life kind of went on. I spent quite some time on Arena Fighters, like all through the COVID years, and I rarely played MK11. But I did do it from time to time, like with friends at hotels or people who came over and they prefer that game. You know, I had the full edition of it. Fast forward again, MK1 is announced, and I pre-ordered the game because I was so invested. But I was so invested in other fighting games, I really didn't download the game until like Omni-Man was around. But I loved everything I saw from Omni-Man. In general, though, I actually enjoyed what MK1 brought me. The cameos and air combos is something that Naruto, the Storm franchise, has had for quite some time. So when I saw it, I was kind of all about it. I was excited for this like new style of gameplay for Mortal Kombat, but I totally get where people are coming from where they don't like it. I think going forward, I hope they keep the air combos, but now, on this note, I will probably fully admit that Invasions sucked. The only thing I appreciated getting from Invasions were the Cyrax and Sector skin from MK11, and then the Scorpion skin with the scar from the story mode. The guest characters have always been something that keeps me motivated to play the game. Jason, Alien, Terminator, fucking Spawn. And the MK1 roster was insanely stacked. Homelander, Omni-Man, T-1000, Peacemaker, Ghostface. And with the cameos in this game, you had so much creative potential with all of these cool DLCs. And even the main roster. Like, I loved it. I really did. I may be the only one, but whatever. Now, when I actually started to put time into the game, I started with, again, Omni-Man. Played of whatever season I had left of, like online, and then I went right into the story mode. Which I enjoyed phenomenally. The new timeline was much easier to consume than the previous two games, and I only say that because, like, I wasn't, like, a huge fighting game fanatic as I am now. So, like, I did play the MKX story mode once, play the MK11 story mode, and it's like, when I was playing the MK11 DLC, I had to, like, familiarize myself with, like, what had happened prior. It's not the fact that they weren't good, they were so complicated. But, like I said, that's kind of why, personally, I enjoyed the MK1 story mode, because it was a new timeline, whatever. I've dealt with new timelines for years now, with watching anime and, like, The Flash and being a DC fan. But as I was playing MK1, the same thing happened to me on MK11, where playing the story mode brought me my new main. And it was Reiko. I loved everything I saw from Reiko, just as Omni-Man. So I doubled down and started playing Reiko. I did a couple 100 matches with him online, just to kind of like familiarize myself with the brutalities. But I was still playing other games. Like I was putting the majority of my time into Storm, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. And then the DLCs for Cyrax and Sector were released. As soon as I saw Sector's gameplay, I was pretty hooked. She reminded me of the potential that Captain Cold had from Injustice 2. The setup potential and the ability to be also very aggressive I kind of strive for that in a character. So naturally, I bought Sector for my training partner, X-Gen Rhino. And during one of our sessions, he ended up using the animality. And we found out it was a Rhino. So we were just absolutely ecstatic. We were laughing our asses off. And at that point, I kind of knew I was in the right spot. I liked playing this game. After that, I just tested out different characters and on invasions and kept my Cyrax team as for my online gameplay. But like I said, I tested out like Tanya, Sonya, Reptile, Kung Lao, Melina, Kano, General Shao, Tremor. Those are alright. Christmas came and went. I moved out of my apartment. I ended up taking a trip to Florida. And getting back to playing online after my trip, I was luckily able to join Scotty Combat's YouTube and Discord. I was able to meet some very good players and improve myself quite a bit. A few months went by, and Sonic Fox ended up winning a big tournament with Cyrax and Serena. His playstyle was a lot different than mine, and essentially, I think in my opinion, he used her correctly. I was simply being overly aggressive with double Cyrax. Now, Serena is a cameo I hated. I allowed myself to get caught way too often by her. But after swallowing my pride, I kind of figured, like, hey man, if you can't beat him, join him. Which is kind of the route I would take for, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Thus, Reiko and Serena were born. These two felt really right as a team. They felt comfortable. I used my cameo sparingly. For instance, like if I misinput a Reiko's dash cancel into the air combo, I could slide into Serena's meter drain and just ground and pound. I loved it. Easy stuff. And again, I felt like I was progressing as a fighter. And I was enjoying the game. Plus, Void was super cool. I think the only thing that stopped me from playing the game has been burnout, which everyone gets from a game, and the player base. I have fought Noob Saibot, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Johnny Cage for what feels like 10 years. And I understand that there's multiple fighting games that are going to have the same problem, but dear Lord, please fight me with someone else. If I could leave this on like a nice positive note, I hated Scarlet and Violet. And I'm a huge, huge Pokemon fan. I remember watching all types of videos about how bad the game was. And I had a friend of mine tell me, no, you should just play it. And I loved it. I loved MK1. Don't listen to all the negativity, because these games could change your life in a very positive way. Because it did that for me. Thank you for your time.